This housing market is bananas, and in this episode we talk about how you can find listings in a low inventory market. We cover some modern methods, some traditional methods, and Todd starts a new Words with Friends game. And he coins a new catchphrase. Welcome to the Boom Real Estate Podcast, everybody. I'm Terry, that's Todd, that's Megan, that's Christian. Hello.
Hey.
Good day to you, friend.
My spirit has exhausted me.
Sometimes we always get a little high energy to start the big show, and then you forget that works you out cardiovascularly.
I don't mind because I know that you're the first one that usually speaks. So I feel like I can go all in.
I need to control myself better in the intro so that I'm calm and collected and ready to podcast.
Notice an option we did not think about is exercising more so that we have better cardiovascular endurance.
That's not on the radar. Not on our radar.
Fact check false.
I think that it's just a matter of figuring out ways that we can continue to eat what we want and be lazy and podcast.
Circle City Barbecue. Oh, it's sitting right.
It's not Circle City Barbecue.
Oh, what is it called?
City Barbecue.
City Barbecue.
Indianapolis, for those of you that don't know, is called the Circle City. But Todd just applied that to the restaurant that we had for lunch. Anyway, we want to hear from you.
Yep.
We want to hear your heart. We want to hear your thoughts and your dreams and your visions and your hopes.
True.
Aspirations,
We want to hear your aspirations, perspirations, all of the orations. Email info@boomrealestatepodcast.com. Also, we're on YouTube now.
We are.
What
are we doing there?
YouTube has come out and filmed us, and we're now on YouTube.
Sign that big contract.
We signed the big YouTube
Might
contract.
venture to say YouTube stars.
I would say
I think it's pretty clear.
if you're on YouTube,
You're on it.
it's not like anybody can just get on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like
We're YouTubers at the very least.
at the very least, we're YouTubers. Yeah. So put that on your resume.
I wear tube socks to celebrate.
That's right. I eat tubers.
That one
It
fell
is
flat.
very rare that there's ever a moment of silence on this podcast, and we nailed
That
that.
is gentle comedy. We're good at that sometimes. So anyway, all that. So check it out on YouTube. We need subscribers. I think that's what you do on the YouTube show. You
Yeah.
subscribe to the show,
Yeah.
We need you.
to the channel.
Click down below.
We
they
need
always
there's
say.
now.
Let's do a link down
Do a
below.
link down below.
Um,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Is
there.
everybody
Yeah.
If you
fine?
look right.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone, if you
Right
point,
there.
if you see right here,
Right. In
right
this area
here,
Right here.
that's right,
it.
right. This is good audio podcasting, by the way.
Woo.
Sorry, iTunes
Sorry,
listeners.
audio.
Anyway, so yeah, but we have that. So check out. Just go to YouTube, search Boom Real Estate Podcast, and I'm sure we'll pop up with all of our madness. So we're talking today about getting listings in a low inventory market, but we also thought let's make it fun.
Yes.
And let's use words.
Words with friends.
Tell us more, Todd.
This is called Words with Friends.
Oh.
Oh wow.
You've heard it here. Coined, trademarked.
Yeah. What if we made a game
Copywritten
called
right
Words
here.
with Friends?
Yes, we should.
Hold on. I'm calling our lawyer.
do it.
I'm gonna get that.
Check
Check
patent.
the legal department.
The legal department.
Are they around today?
They're not here. They'll be here later.
Took the day off.
They-
There we go.
oh, they are here.
Yeah,
There
they
they
are.
are. Back to work for them. Long
They're
lunch.
busy, yeah.
Long lunch.
They still use dot matrix printers, which I can't figure out.
Those things were awesome.
Yeah.
No, they had a name. So here's the game. We're playing Words with Friends on Boom, or Boom with Friends, or Words with Boom. But what we've done is we have 12 words that I have picked out of the dictionary, just using a dart, and everybody's going to choose
Your dictionary's
3
jacked
of
up now.
them. And then at some point through the podcast, you have to figure out how to use your word as seamlessly as possible.
Yeah.
It may be impossible, but you
Right.
still have to try.
Yeah.
So no cheating just by blurting out the words. You got to try to get them in. Whoever does the best at getting their 3 words into the podcast as seamlessly as possible gets the job of post-producing the episode.
Oh.
So let's all cheer for
Producer Christian.
I won.
All right, so first thing we got to do, we got to choose our words. We're going to keep this fast. Let's keep it going. We're going to go ladies first. Megan, 1 through 12, choose 3 numbers.
3, 7, 11.
All right. Your 3 words are, and you're going to want to write these down so you remember.
Ready, spaghetti.
Quagmire, beanbags,
Yeah.
and yepperdoodles.
Oh, that one will be easy.
All right, Terry, 3 words.
1, 2, and 4.
All right, Terry, your words are cattywampus, taradiddle, and nincompoop. Christian, 3 for you, sir.
Right, just for the video people here, I'm writing my words down.
Nice.
So quagmire.
How do you spell nincompoop or cattywampus?
Okay,
All right,
I feel like I'm ready.
there's 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12 left.
5, 12. What were the other numbers? 8.
All right, 8. So, Christian, your 3 words are canoodle,
I love that word.
brouhaha,
Okay.
and boomstick.
Oh, that would be easy.
Because you can use that on the Boom Real Estate podcast.
What
And
does
that
leave
leaves
you with,
me
buddy? Well,
with
this is not fair because you know some of the words, but I'm sure that you'll still, it'll
know
still be
your words
difficult.
now too. All right, so for me, my words are flabbergasted, Spankenheimer, and chicky chicky boom boom.
What could go wrong, I think, as we dive in to talking about finding and getting listings in a low inventory market. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the word game while we're podcasting.
Just early on, there's been quite a brouhaha.
You know what?
He's gonna win.
I'm gonna win
He's gonna
post-production.
win.
I feel like he's already cheating.
I feel like that was just gratuitous. How
Was it?
about
Okay.
you can't use it until after the intro is complete.
There you go.
So
Okay,
here
there you
comes
Does that
the
still
intro.
count, or is that retroactive? that
No,
rule?
it's starting now. You've not used whatever your word was. It does not count. All right, so Todd, we're talking about finding listings and getting listings in a low inventory market. If you have listings in this market, you're golden because
Yes.
they sell ridiculous. I feel like in the early parts of 18 so far, like it's been even more crazy than 17, which I did not expect, but it's nuts right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of the experts, they were predicting that 2018 would be a pretty much morph what 2017 did. Morph.
Mirror.
Mirror what 2017 did, meaning that we're just going to be low inventory. Those that list last, those that get the listings win, because they're going to be a lot more guaranteed business than working with a buyer. So that was the thought about 2017, or what happened in 2017, what's happening in 2018. And it looks as though Terry
broke
almost
the
flipped
table.
the table over.
Whoops.
Everybody's
was
okay.
like,
We're fine.
My mistake.
WWE type stuff. So it looks like
Thankfully,
2018 is
it's
going to be
still-
very much the same, if not more. And this is nationwide. We're hearing this trend across the nation. So today we're trying to teach you guys it's not over for you. You got to keep fighting, and if you do it smartly, if you do it wisely, and you know that you need to focus on those listings and getting those listings, and you use some of these methods, you will win the race.
Yeah.
And you will win 2018. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is the ways to win those listings, how to get a listing in a low inventory market. We're going to break it down into 2 styles, basically traditional methods,
Yes.
which Megan's going to talk about, and we're going to talk more about the modern method, or a few modern methods that I'm going to be referencing in my little chat.
Spiel.
My spiel, if you will, my chicky chicky boom boom, if you will. See, I even pushed that one.
No, that doesn't count either.
How do you get chicky chicky boom boom?
No, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I will say. You would be fine to do that, except you were still doing the intro,
Oh,
which
okay.
means the
All right,
game is
all
yet
right.
to start.
Okay, I'm good
So
with
guess
that.
what? The game is afoot. May the odds be ever in your favor.
We're disallowing that.
Yeah. Just check it. Okay, so traditional and modern, and then we have a bonus method at the end. But let's start, Megan, with you. More traditional ways of getting listings in a low inventory market.
Yes.
What do you suggest?
Well, I am a traditional person, so thankfully I'm doing this one. Traditional methods. All right, so obviously we're like running around looking under rocks trying to find listings, as we should be, so you're not wasting your time. And the first one we're going to talk about today is expired listings. Getting on the horn. And isn't that a weird saying?
Why did you laugh
I
at
don't know.
that?
Getting
I
on the
don't know.
horn.
I don't know. I fell into a quagmire.
Oh, check one.
I
Good
feel like
job.
it should be way more seamless than that, so I'll do better on the next ones. Okay, so looking for expired listings. So look up those expired listings, and here's the deal. They didn't have this market probably unless they just expired just now.
Right.
So right now is the hottest market. If they did not sell earlier when it was a hot market,
Right.
they hopefully are to the point that they're like seeing the light of, hey, I need to come down in price, or I need to stage my home, or I need to make this sellable
Right.
at this point, because if it's not selling in a great market, we've got to change something. And then your remarketing specialist, which is going to be you, comes in and says, hey, here's what I think we could do. I can remarket you. Here's where we could put the price. Here's what's going to happen. Come in with a great plan and talk about, emphasize the market right now. There is no better time to sell. So these expired listings, they will listen to you, I think. I mean, at least you've got the best chance you could have with expireds right now. You just have to do a little research. Say, hey, you didn't sell a great market. Let's figure out what to do. I know I've got the plan. Be confident and grab you some of those expired listings.
It's one of the things that irks me the most is when I tell a seller, even in a good market, over and over, like you're priced too high. You got to get the price down. Yeah. And they just don't listen to reason. And it doesn't happen too often, but we'll go through this. Like last year we had one where I told him the whole time the price needs to be lower. He wouldn't list, he wouldn't come down to where I told him to do it. And then eventually he was so flabbergasted that he wasn't able to get the price where he wanted it that he went and listed with somebody else. And what happens? First thing he does?
Lowers the price
to what I told him. And then all of a sudden it sells. And it's like, oh, it's the other agent that's the reason. No, it's because you finally listened to the price. Yeah. But then you got to question yourself, though, like, is it my fault that I wasn't able to convince him? It's not so much that he wouldn't listen,
right?
But then I'll take responsibility that I wasn't able to convince him to get it down.
I don't know. That can make you feel like a nincompoop if you just blame yourself for everything.
Very nice.
Todd worked in his word too, didn't you?
I got flabbergasted in there. Oh, that's so seamless.
Dang it.
So good.
I don't see what the brouhaha is about.
Oh.
That was so awkward. Give yourself a buzzer. Buzz yourself.
Okay.
Man. I knew from the second you started talking that you were only talking to get to your word. And then I tried to tack on. Did I use nincompoop? What did I usually say?
Nincompoop, I got you down.
Thank you, Todd. All right, to the scoreboard. Christian, Todd, and Terry have all used 1. Megan still has 3 that she needs to get to. Good luck, Megan. Do you have more to say about expired listings?
I said quagmire, but it sucks.
You did get quagmire in.
Can I say
okay. So it's
that word? I'm sorry.
No, you're in.
So
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Can you say sucked? I think that's PG. We can go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
good.
fine.
It was a bad word.
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on because we're going to nail these expireds. Everybody's
Yes.
good? We got these.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. The next place we can look are for sale by owners.
Yep.
FSBOs are huge. It's always a great angle, I think, to work. But right now, it's a great time. The kind of the pitch or the conversation that we are focusing on today is saying, hey, give them a call, get in front of them, however you can do it, and say, all right, whatever you charge in your area, maybe it's we are like a 6 to 7% area that we have for the seller's fees. So what you do is you give them a call and you say, hey, listen, what if we go whatever price you are now, let's go 6% higher and let's get it on the MLS or the BLC. Let's get you out there and then we'll sell for that much more so that pays for me out of your gross profit. So your net is going to be exactly the same. Plus, you're going to have my marketing, my assistance, my help, all the paperwork, everything done for you.
Right.
And so that way, you're doing the work for your payment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's no loss for sale by owner, and that way you're not going at them aggressively and saying they're doing anything wrong or anything like that. You're saying, hey, let me just get you more money to pay for myself.
Right.
Boom.
And they'll probably do the same thing the expired does. They'll let you list with them at first at that price that you suggest, and then they're going to get anxious and they're going to want to work the price down anyway. So you're going to get them down into a realistic price, but at least you got the listing, and at least you got a sign in the yard, and maybe you can get listing leads out of it. So there's opportunities that come from it, whether you sell that home or not.
Exactly. I like it.
Nice. Expireds, FSBOs. What else, Megan? Traditional methods of getting listings in a low inventory market.
Yes. Open houses, still solid, man. Still solid. And you can tie into that door knocking as well. Like getting out there, getting with the people. You got to hit the pavement right now. But do those open houses every week. Do a couple. We talk about doing back-to-back open houses, which is great. You're out there already. Do 2 in a row. Get the signs out there. And then use the open houses as a reason to go around the neighborhood and knock on doors and meet people. Hey, I'm having an open house down at 317 Limelight Street.
Did you make that up?
I did.
It's almost like Limelight was your word, and you just made up an address.
I could have made it. Come on down to 317 Yepperdoodles.
Yepperdoodles is the easiest one, Megan.
Right?
Just agree with someone.
She just lowered the boomstick.
Woo! That was completely out of context.
No, I mean, she was,
Can I just take a quick moment to reset this game?
Wait, hold on a second.
This game. All
Christian is
He's
currently
just-
marking off
for the video
his
people,
words
it's
for the
crossed.
video people.
I feel like I will say my focus on this episode is only I'm not listening. I'm not
Yeah.
thinking. I'm just thinking, how can I use these words? I feel like the listeners are probably just like, when are they going to use
When are
another
they
word,
using it?
right? Like it's
You don't care about listings anymore.
No,
It's
no.
just, when are these?
it's really tough. You're doing a good job though, Megan, of sticking with valuable content.
Yeah,
I
well,
guess I'm not
some
really
of us
listening to
have
what you're saying. I'm just trying to
Whatever
work in
you're
my
saying,
word.
yeah.
But yeah, all right.
All right, so do your open houses, knock on the doors around there, and kind of hustle grind and get out there for those. And then the last
Kinda
one
hustle grind.
is call your sphere. Don't make me throw bean bags at you
Yeah, I mean,
to get you to call your sphere.
that was
That is
terrible.
What?
bean
Terrible.
bags. That
Was
one's
beanbag?
hard.
You got it in. We'll allow it.
All right.
That
Should
one's
I
hard.
buzzer her? Or
Really, I've been a weak player in this the
are
whole
you
time.
done with all your
through-
words now? You used
I did,
them all.
and they were
right?
all really weak and just
Okay,
all,
we're
it's like I
disallowing
just
it.
said them all. Like I just said them.
You know what? I feel
Um,
like you have no shot to post-produce this episode.
I know. It's
You will
almost-
do none of the
Almost
editing.
like I was trying to lose. I don't know. No, call your sphere. You've got a huge sphere, a contact base, and a book of business sitting right there on your desk. So just
Yeah.
get in there and call them and let them know.
That's a hot tip.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's that
Sphere.
easy. Like literally, you can go in and say, "Hey, listen, this is the best market ever. Have you guys been thinking about selling? Because we can get you the most for your house right now, right this second,
Right.
and then go find you something else." And some people say yes, some will say no, but you'd be surprised how many people are like, "Well, I was kind of wondering. I heard it was a great market. What is my house worth?" And you start this conversation. We have an agent in our area. She's like amazing and huge, and she will call her clients and be like, "You're moving now. It's a good time. Here's where you need to go." So, but do it. Call them and have that conversation.
Right. And I don't think if you're uncomfortable being that direct with them, then just morph it. I use morph again. Just modify it just a little bit by
Brown-noser.
saying instead of calling them and saying, "Well, that wasn't one of my words."
Oh, I thought it was.
No, please have some respect. But call your clients, and instead of saying, "Hey, it's time for you to move," then instead say, "Hey, do you have any? We're low inventory. We need homes right now. Do you know of anybody that's thinking about selling?
Yeah.
Yep.
I could help them out," type of thing. So that way, it's not direct to them, and you'll probably be more comfortable for the agent that doesn't feel comfortable saying, "Hey, it's time for you to move."
That's kind of funny though. That's a funny line. If you can
That's
pull
what
off
I like.
the
If you're
comedy.
humorous in style,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's a good one to
Say,
use.
good news, you're moving.
Yep.
We need-
Congratulations.
Sorry, we need your house now. It's like, can we use that chair? Can we use this house? We need to get it on the market.
They
So.
need that.
Okay, so those are all traditional methods, Megan. Nicely done with your traditionalism of how to get listings in a low inventory market. Let's transition.
Shall we?
Let's move. Let's
Shall we?
sachet. Let's shuffle. Those are all just
Sachet.
that was
Nice.
not my word. That was just a bonus.
makes
That's
sense.
in my everyday vocabulary.
Let's canoodle.
Canoodle.
That
No,
doesn't
they did
really
not
apply
know.
to
That
this.
was terrible.
I'm buzzing myself.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
gonna say. All right, so modern methods.
Modern methods go.
Boom. Let's talk about some new age ways to get the listings in a low inventory market. First one is Facebook video. So there are plenty of neighborhoods out there, as probably could predict, most neighborhoods out there are low on inventory. So if you're farming a neighborhood, if you're working in an area of town, if you're working a whole town, whatever the case may be, go out, film yourself in front of that sign. So let's say you got a neighborhood, and so we've got one that's local. It's called Spankenheimer. So Spankenheimer, let's go say that you're in front of, you're
Oh,
shaking your
my.
head at me. You thought that was too far. We do have a Steinmeier.
Yipper doodle,
I
Todd,
just-
I do.
I just know the inventory so well to know that there is no Spankenheimer neighborhood. And
What a
that's
great
where I
word.
thought, why would he say Spankenheimer?
I know.
Oh, I know why. Words
So-
with friends.
Words with friends. So you're in front of the Spankenheimer neighborhood. They've got Spankenheimer on the sign behind yourself. You basically film yourself, and you can just hold the camera out in front of you, do a little selfie style, and you just you basically film yourself saying, "Hey, I'm standing in front of the Spankenheimer neighborhood. There are actually no listings on the market right now in this neighborhood, and we have buyers that are eager to purchase in this neighborhood. If you've had any desire whatsoever, or know of somebody in this neighborhood that's thinking of buying or selling a home, let me know. Here's my contact information below."
Below.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Right here. Oh,
There we
monitor.
go.
Below. We're signaling
Right
to our
here.
live audience
Right
or our
in this
video
area.
audience. Yep. So let them know that's your call to action.
Yeah.
And then basically you drive them. Typically, if you're going full method with it, you drive them to a single page website that collects their contact information, and then you can follow up as needed from there. So that's a really easy one to use.
Quick dive. If you want to hear a deep dive on this, episode 75, we had 3 winning Facebook strategies with Grant
Nice.
Wise.
Yeah.
He talked about
Yes.
this very type of Facebook ad to run. He kind of went into the details and the nitty gritty of it. So that was really good. But yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, we did one recently in front of a neighborhood where we started. We had the only listing on there, so we went in and we said,
Yep.
"Hey, this is the only listing in the neighborhood. If you know of anybody looking to move into the area, this
Yeah.
might be your perfect opportunity." And then we're closing on this one in a couple days. I'm going to go back out and say, "We sold this thing in 2 days. This is
Nice.
the time to sell if you've been thinking." So we're going to stay in front of the neighborhood the whole time. Same thing. You're in front of the sign, and the reason why you want to be in front of the sign is when they're watching it on their feed and the sound is off. They see that sign, they're like,
That's
"Why-
my
Why
neighborhood."
is some dude standing in front of my
Yeah.
neighborhood? Let me
Yeah.
listen to this."
Yep.
Yep.
And then you're picking up your listeners, right?
Smart.
Very nice.
Boom.
Smart.
Okay.
So smart.
Thank you guys. I
Hope it
appreciate that. All right. Second one, Zillow's Make Me Move. We've talked about this one before. If you've ever looked on Zillow, there is a section called Make Me Move. These are sellers that aren't really sellers. They basically just put it out there and said, "Hey, if you pay me the right price, I'll sell this thing." So this is like a new age version of what Megan was talking about with the for sale by owners.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a hot tip.
Thank you.
That's good.
So what you're doing, same thing, same concept. You're calling them up and you're saying, "Hey, I noticed that you'll move," and you'll say, "You'll make me move for the right price. What do you think that right price would be?" And they'll say, "Well, I don't know, maybe 300,000 or something like that."
Love
And you
it.
say, "Great. Why don't we throw it on the MLS for this much? And if we need to, and if you need to negotiate terms, you need to up the price to cover your commission, then do so.
Yeah.
But basically, just get it out there and say, listen, it'll give you a whole new audience. It's not going to
Yeah.
cost you anything because you net the exact same. And what's going to happen? You get them out there. Maybe you sell the home, maybe you don't, but you get the exposure. And if you need to, maybe they get more
Love it.
motivated. They start dropping the price.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you got another listing, and it costs them absolutely nothing because they're netting the exact
Yep.
same. And that's the sales pitch you got to use is what's in it for them. There's no difference for you other than you get a huge audience versus your small audience that you
Right.
have right now.
And it's about numbers usually for sale by owners and Make Me Move. That's their motivation. So you're not affecting that. You're
Right.
only adding value, not taking anything away, which
Yeah.
is awesome. And think if you're geographically farming an area, which farming is, then you would just think about making Zillow make you move in just that area and trying to pick up as many as you can just to get your name all over in that area. What a great, easy way to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Put the
Boom.
boomstick down, Christian.
Oh, wow.
Boomstick
Oh, I
down.
already used it, so I don't have to
He
use it
did.
again.
Next
I-
episode, we will introduce word stealing. If you steal someone else's word,
Oh,
bonus
Before they
point.
use it.
They cannot use it.
I love
They
it.
can't use it. Bonus points.
It's pretty soon, this is just going to be a game show. There will be no real estate content whatsoever.
Yeah,
We
we're
are
getting
very
closer and
close,
closer.
Yes.
All right, so last one for you. The modern method is Facebook advertise to those likely to move. So if you use Facebook, if you played around with it at all, there is an option to use likely to move, which basically Facebook has used their algorithms to figure out who's most likely to move based on their searches and their criteria, what they put as kind of their demographics, or not demographics, but maybe demographics.
Yeah, demographics.
Yeah.
I think.
So Facebook has figured out with their algorithms that these are the people most likely to move. So as a realtor, those are the people that you want to advertise to,
Yeah.
right? So what if you reached out to them with a Facebook ad that simply says something that's true to today's market, which is interest rates are rising and we have a lack of inventory. Maybe now might be the time to move. Now, obviously, you want to write that up a little clearer than what I just said.
You got a little cattywampus there.
That was good, kind of.
That was good.
Well, it was all right. I don't know if cattywampus
Do I
is
buzz
the
him,
right
or-
use there.
Buzzing?
We'll let it slide.
Okay.
He worked it in slightly.
Let's bing
That's
it.
all right.
Cattywampus. Something is crooked, askew, misaligned, bent, or generally
Okay.
effed up is what it says.
What's the term when somebody lives like catty
corner.
Catty corner. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, that's funny.
I was a little bit off.
Yep.
Sorry, my bad.
You got a little
You were
cattywampus there.
cattywampus.
I was cattywampus. All right, so what if you put a little ad and you send it out to the likely to move people that just simply said, low inventory, rates are rising. If you wanted to upgrade your home, now is the time to do so. All right, and then same action as you had before. You drive them with a little contact. Click on this link below. It takes you to a single page website where they put in their contact information. Then you've set up automated returns so that they're getting texts and emails and everything right away. And then your follow-up plan, all that stuff, which make sure that you have that in place before you start throwing money at ads like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are 3 ways that are kind of new age styles to go out and get listings. And really, if you notice, 2 of those have to do with Facebook because, as we've said time and time again, it is cheap. Get on it. You can get in front of a lot of people for a little bit of money.
That's right. So we've covered the traditional, we've covered the modern. I wish there was a bonus method. Does anyone have a bonus method? Anyone at all?
Yepper doodles, I do.
Oh, that was the best usage so far, Megan.
You know what, Terry?
You just reacted hugely so you can say chicka chicka boom boom.
I did.
That's not right.
We know you, Todd.
That's ridiculous.
Thanks for setting that up there, Wagner.
That was good. Good job.
I do have a bonus method, actually.
That was the best usage of the day.
Okay, so we would call this in the real estate world a little bit of like ambulance chasing, but it does work. I mean, it can work. How you do it is up to you, but you can also target like retirement home reps. I've built a couple of relationships with apartment complex reps where a lot of times they get nervous that you're like trying to steal people, but in reality you're helping, and you can also bring people to them because you're going to be helping people downsize and they need to have a retirement home that you can refer them to, or maybe they're moving out of a house or they're getting a divorce and then they need to go to an apartment. So it's a very good relationship you can have together. So retirement home reps, apartment reps, builder reps, because those people that are going to go buy a house need to sell the one that they have. So that's a really good one. And divorce attorneys and financial advisors and accountants. Those 3 people in the financial industry, or the lawyer, and then the 2 financial industry, they'll know if somebody is splitting and they're going to need to sell a house and some assets. So bonus.
Study the key demographics of how ages are moving. So like, let's say millennials are getting to that point where they're ready to get out of their apartments and start buying, because we know that millennials were waiting a little bit longer in life before they bought.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, and that we're getting into that window of opportunity, now you need to know the apartment reps that know who's moving, who's in those things. So, and the same thing, like if you know that there's a certain generation that's getting to the point where they're ready to downsize and start moving into, nursing homes or whatnot, how great would it be to be in front of those retirement home reps that have the in on that and can say, as families come in and say, I think it's time for us to move mom out of her house and into some kind of care, then we say, well, you know what, you should talk to this realtor. They specialize in assisting with people like moves like this.
That's good.
I'm now excited to go talk to some people.
Just building out your network, man. Like network is so huge for you guys. And deep dive into the networking. We called it networking, outside the box networking, episode 29.
If only you could see us, you could see we're twerking now. Oh,
wait.
Can see
No, they can.
Fact check false.
No, yeah.
Show me your best twerk, Christian.
Fact check false.
Oh,
Show me your Megan.
I did not mean that.
Does Megan like babies?
No, I don't have it.
We don't have that sounder.
I wish you'd fall in a quagmire, Terry.
Oh, chicky, boo, boo.
Oh, you guys need to canoodle a little more.
All right, let's stop the game. The game is over. Let's stop.
Hold on, wait.
Did everybody get their words?
I think
I did not. I did not get my last word.
You did it
I was
on
going to
purpose.
say, I think Terry left Taradiddle on
I
the
did.
floor.
I left Taradiddle on the floor because I tried to organically work in my words. I didn't try to ramrod it in there like you guys did. Did you get all your words, Todd?
I was thinking you could have easily used a story about like how your second grade teacher, Mrs. Jones, used to call it Taradiddle. Call you Taradiddle or something.
Taradiddle.
No, is that a stretch?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
a stretch.
Terry Taradiddle Wagner. I had to look up what that word meant. Did you know what that
it
word
mean?
I have no
What does it
idea.
It means pretentious nonsense or a petty lie.
Oh.
So,
Pretentious
because
nonsense.
we're just so
Didn't know
filled with
that.
the truth and
Right.
actual helpful stuff, I couldn't get
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Christian, get all of his words.
I did. I squeaked it in at the last minute.
Yes.
And Megan?
I totally did. Did you want me to edit this? I can win. Let's win. You want me to win?
What do you got? What do you got?
I got them all.
Oh, do you want to win?
If I win, I get to edit
Post
this
produce.
whole
Yep, it's on you.
post-produce.
Congratulations,
Best episode.
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom.
This is gonna be the best potty yet.
That's the best one. Okay, so get those listings and your business will be fine, and you will have a killer 2018 if you can be a listing agent this year. So we want to hear from you. Email info@boomrealestatepodcast.com. Check out our YouTube page as well, because that's a bunch of fun. We can see you on video. And get the boom30.com 30-day
Do
jumpstart.
it. Do
Yeah.
it.
It's
Do
free. It is valuable.
The link
It is
is
good
here.
for you. We'll link it down below.
Link it down
We'll
below.
link that down below. We'll see you next
of pointy
time
fingers.
on the Boom Real Estate Podcast.
Woo!
The podcast that is one giant taradiddle.